Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on into the live. Thank you for being here. And look at that lemon water. Let's get the lemon into the water. I am parched. I just worked out. I didn't even get a big sip of water yet after my workout. Put the lemon into the water. I'm a little hot, I think. Nah, not too bad. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. We're back in the home studio. If you can believe it, I can't believe it. We are back in the home studio. Feels good to be home. My God, you could tell. Look, I almost drank the entire jar in one sip. Lemon water, baby. You gotta feel good about yourself. You gotta dream big. You gotta go for it all. Let's break it down. Let's talk about cryptocurrency today. Let's take a look at Fiat Leak. What's going on? Not much popping. Of course, there's Bitcoin buys, a little Shiba Inu, some Chainlink going on in. Of course, there's Ethereum getting bought up, and Matic. Seems like Matic and Ethereum. A little bit of Doge buys getting thrown in there too, and Bitcoin taking the cake as usual. Let's break down what I see happening for BTC. So when I woke up this morning, we saw we were in this shape, right? It was kind of a upside down cup and handle, right? It's suggesting that we would break down. However, the 15-minute had room to move. It made this downward movement and then this spike to the upside. It wasn't amazing though, and let's break it down, because you may have been out away for the weekend or away for holidays, and you're jumping back in, and you're like, "What's going on, Lifer? I see a lot of lines. I'm confused." I'm like, "All right, I got a bunch of charts for you," and sometimes I even like to do it in front of you, brand new. So let's do that. Let's have fun. Let's break down what I see happening right now, just kind of fresh. That is a cup and handle. Could it break to the upside? There's a chance. All right. So first thing I like to do is I like to look at like a 3-day chart, even the weekly. Heck. Let's take a look at the weekly. I double click. I don't want to look at any oscillators. I just want to look at price action. Just price action alone. All right. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate you for sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. As you can tell, this SMB7 is better than that RodePod mic, and we get a little more sound action there out of that low bass, and just kind of completes the voice. Get yourself an SMB7 today if you're going to be broadcasting around the world like the Lifers. All right, so check it out. And no, I'm not paid by them, but I mean, their products are great. And if I have a product that I love, I do talk about it. That's just what I do. All right, just like Bookmap, just like all the other things that I have ready to rock. And it's nice to have the behemoth back to Marv. Marv is ready to go, baby. Marv is ready to go. All right, so weekly resistance clearly right here at about 31,000, and right here at about 24,000. We'll call it, I like to call it 25K, you know. And we've got at least some type of support at 15,800, right? And so that's kind of it. And we're in this chop area right now. This is kind of the pattern that be, all right? Bigger thing at play here is this. Did we slightly break the trend? I mean, we're trying to break that trend. You can see very, very slightly though. And honestly, it could be a fake out breakout. That could be the trend. We're on our way back here to the bottom of the pattern, 5,500, right? So, and then you're looking at the areas that if we capitulate down to, where do we go? 11,006, 64, and then you're talking like the lows of 3,000, all right? Which aren't that far away, so I just have to talk about it. So those are your weekly support and resistance areas. You got a point of control here at 19,175. Remember that 19,150 area that we battled with, and that's going to be an area we get above that, kind of the end of the bear market, in my humble opinion. That's going to be a big deal. You know, we get above it, we stay above it, we start to complete. That'll be how we build our way out of the mess. So are we going lower? Is what everybody wants to know. Is it time to buy a bunch of Bitcoin? Everybody wants to be told what to do. Nobody's telling me what to do. I listen to the beat of my drum, the beat of my heart. The passion in me keeps me going, and I want to teach you the same thing. And most of the people in my trading group are of that cloth. We are a tribe amongst ourselves, the Crypto Lifers. What does it mean to be a lifer? What do you guys think it means to be a lifer? Let me know in the comment section. What does it mean to be a lifer to you? Shout out to the 464 people, 304 people on the live, 126 likes. Can we get the likes up to the watchers? I would greatly appreciate it. I guess people forget to hit the like button. I've done it before, so I'll give you the pass. You got a moment here to nail it. Keep it going. Show your love and support. Throw that karma bean into the jar. Let us know how you're feeling. Appreciate you. So these are our weekly support and resistance. Like until we get above like 19,000, we don't really need to even worry about 25 and 31, but they're there. And they're things to talk about, okay? Dedication, light, pew pew. Marvin moving Miami, baby. Shout out to CC and Ireland, my man. Balance, constant education and love means I get fam holding my back whenever I need. Dominic means gains on many levels. 3-3 and grinding. We are fam. Crow, please, says somebody. Desire, dedication, discipline, and determination equals the lifer. Shout out to CNC Ireland. Shout out to Tokyo Sex Whale in the house. My man. Shout out to Dustin Kava coming through on a Wednesday. Always say I feel like I see you on a Wednesday. Isn't that true? Shout out to Lieutenant Dan Dangle. Love for all the lifers. Love for you, my man. Shout out to Tahi Rafiq. And man, I got so many people that love us throughout the world. The lifers, baby. Shout out to my lifers. I love y'all. Love is the strongest frequency. When you live in love, you cannot lose. When you live in love, you cannot lose. So this is our weekly support and resistance areas. We lose this 15,008 area. You can see how close 11 and 11,008, 12,000 is. There's not much left to go. Had to log into my phone to send that like. Couldn't on my TV. Thanks for your time and dedication. Shout out to Jonathan Lavoie. Shout out to Robert Salazar. Get ready for work right now, my man. Learning, my friend. Shout out to Jared D. Honesty is being lifer, my man. Looking good, Sam. Shout out to Daniel DeBolt, man. Thank you so much. Feeling good, dude. I worked out today, really, for the place I was at, hard concrete floors, hurt the hands, wasn't the best place to work out, so I didn't work out as rigorously. Got into my hard workout today, was sweating, was feeling it, did what I had to do for my heart, soul, and mind. All right. So today, the title is The Best Strategy for Wealth, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about what I'm going to be focused on for the next year or two and what I plan on accomplishing. And I'm just going to, you talk about what you want to accomplish, put it out there into the universe. So that's just something I want to, break down. And if you want to listen to what I'm thinking about, hey, you can hear my opinions and what I believe. It may not be the greatest and they may not be perfect. It's just what I'm thinking. Kevin Baker talking about the 50 EMA headed to the 200. All right. Send in your super chats for TA or a deep dive. What are you projecting lately? Great to see you back in the home studio, Sam, my man. Shout out to Amphibious. Yeah, plane was fun. Our plane was delayed 1 hour, which wasn't bad. And honestly, it really ended up being like 40 minutes. We waited on the tarmac for a good half an hour before we took off for whatever reason. Fine. And then when we got to the airport, perfect flight, easy flight, takeoff landing, smooth flight, no turbulation at all. The pilot said there would be, there was none. Not it was smoothest flight I ever had. Lately all my flights have been, I guess Boston to Sarasota, easy peasy. Boston to Miami, not bad. I've flown 3 times to Florida since the beginning of November. I've been to Florida 3 times since the beginning of November. Absolutely insane. And none of these were planned. Actually, none of my trips were planned except for this trip. This was the only planned trip, the one that we just went on. We booked this. We always book it around August. In September, we book our December trip because if the tickets get out of control, the bookings get out of control, you end up places you don't want to be. So if you're going to go, you plan it in advance, right? And we're thinking of really, I'm pretty sure we're going to move to Florida the way it's looking. Looking like me and my family are going to move to Florida, Sarasota, Florida, and become a Sarasota family and live in the beautiful waters of the Gulf and just enjoy. HIDOODLES continuing to move. Unbelievable. Wow. Anyway, we'll break all that down. I can't wait to get into the altcoins and talk about what's happening in the overall market. Also look at the S&P futures and just everything else that's out there. Also jumping into the chat, in and out of the chat is my favorite thing to do. I love you. Gmail from Vegas. I don't know what that means. Getting ready for work right now, my man. Why not? Do it, Sam. My guy, I'm glad to see you home safe, bro. Thank you, Kevin Baker. Home sweet home. Only other channel that I watch for TA other than my buddies. Keep it going, Lifer. The crypto community appreciate you. Shout out to Frank. Codus Spotty, man. Big pink vector candle printing. Bitcoin going down. Sammy, thank you for sharing HIDOODLES back on October when price was 0.7. 12,000% gains plus sell bearish division on the bully. Lifers for life. Look at that. 12,000% gains on HIDOODLES. We shared HIDOODLES back in October when the price was 0.7. 0.07. It's now 65 cents. I mean, we shared it when it was 0.07. Like he's saying. Look at that. Wow. Unreal. Now it's at 65 cents. Who would have thought HIDOODLES would have done what it did? We're going to talk about these high coins. We're going to break down what happened. I listened while I welded work. Jaime Bits looks to be in the same fractal as Bitcoin, just a little further ahead. What's your thoughts? I don't know what that means. You know, what fractal are you talking about? Hey, Lifer, write all those tips and Airbnbs as business expense, right, my man? Easy tax write-off. I don't talk about my taxes publicly or what I do, man. It kind of offends me when other people do, too. I appreciate it, though. I know you don't mean any harm, but, like... Sam, thank you for sharing HIDOODLES. Dude, back when it was 007, 12,000% gains. Can you believe that? I mean, it wasn't even a penny. It's now 65 cents. It wasn't even it was so low when we put it out. I mean, that's insanity. HIDOODLES. Unreal. Dang, 12,000% gains. That's a banger. Yeah, no, man, that's what we did. I mean, I don't know who could have held on that whole time, right? But wow. Greetings from Denver. Shout out to you. So now we're going to zoom in to the smaller time frame, all right? To a daily chart. And we're going to take a look at what's happening on the daily. So here. So we have our bigger structure, and we see. And now we zoom in. And you can see how the VRVP will change to give us some more information on the local time frames. So here we clearly have a resistance at 21,300. And clearly we have a support system that we broke below at 18,003. So 18,300 is kind of a big deal. We get back above it, we could maybe build some structure to the upside. All right. One thing I'm seeing that's slightly possible, doesn't have to be. Could we be making this slanted, inverted head and shoulder that could break to the upside? There's a possibility. Just putting it out there, not saying it's guaranteed at all. Just beginning my projection theory. All right. Now here we hit resistance at 18,003. Clearly came back down. And I love doing this. Just come back home to the home studio. Come back into Bitcoin. Come back home, baby. See what's going down. And so literally, we're watching this bigger pattern, this smaller pattern inside the bigger one. And to me, it felt more interesting when that little nip got pushed out. Trying to include that makes it like kind of weird. So I was kind of more getting a trend line, something like this. Like this. Even though I like to use only candle bodies, it's just hard to like make that trend line perfect. This one's more apt. Makes more sense. If I connect this one, it's just like a weird, see? This makes more sense to me here. And like we wicked right to that angle. So this is also a falling wedge. Falling wedges break up 68% of the time. All right, can we break back up? And now we deal with this pattern at play. So now you can see how we kind of form ideas. Now you can see why there's so many lines on my chart. But it's because we build. We begin to build. So now let's look at this pattern here. And when you look at it on the daily, it's a bear flag that could just desperately break to the downside. You know, we could break all the way down to this area here, 6,000. I mean, I'm just saying that's the pattern at play. I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm just showing you what the pattern is. So it's almost crucial that we hold 15,008. Otherwise, I mean, we could take a nice drop to 11,400. There's really this is a gap areas. We could gap down very, very harshly. What's going on? Okay. I mean, they'd all be in like my bags and stuff. Like, you know where they would be? In the front of my computer bag. That has like, yeah, I believe that's where like you want to.
Laptop or the other one?
No, the laptop bag.
Found it.
See?
Mommy's coming, Nyla. I'm coming, Nyla.
I could be wrong, but there's got to be one in there. You found something? Always help the wife. Remember. Always help the wife, no matter what you're doing. She's first. They love that. If I said, no, baby, I'm busy, I'm working right now, I'm on the live stream. You're on the couch. You know what I mean? You're on the couch. So I just taught you guys something, you married men or men soon to be married, or just please the wife, and you'll have a good life. So look, we're looking for the idea that, I mean, that's got a nasty pull. No offense. Down all the way to 11,005. Do we capitulate one more time? There's a chance. I mean, that is a bear flag. I have to tell you, that is a bear flag. We have slightly broken the bigger trend of the giant, falling wedge here. I guess slightly. I would just adjust it, but it throws us off on the bigger up there. So it's kind of, we have to be harsh to this move here. I like to delete, eventually I can't have all the lines. I delete what I don't want to see. But, and I'm back home, I'm reassessing. So 11,600. Honestly, 15,800 must hold. All right. And so now we're going to go into, now we see what's happening. Now let's go back to my chart on the 4-hour time frame. And you can kind of see how this all makes more sense. There's your bigger wedge. This is the wedge 2, the smaller one that we're in. See? And I'm even willing to just delete everything here. I can't believe I just did that, but I see the big picture. Now I want to see the small picture. And I want to see if I'm missing anything that I didn't see before. So I got this trend. All right. And if you went high like that, it'd be a little absurd. So it's kind of like, so we have this, we have something going on here like so. And we're getting tighter and tighter in this wedge, in my humble opinion. And we broke out of it, broke back into it, but we've been, look, resistance, resistance, resistance. This trend line and bounce. You could say bounce, bounce, this trend line. Definitely can't argue with the two trend lines, in my humble opinion. All right. So we're getting tighter in the zone. A bigger move is coming. The 4-hour is low on the bottom of the channel, suggesting a bounce to the upside. You have wicks too. So can this falling wedge here during this holiday season into New Year's get a bit of a pump to the upside? 4-hour suggests we could be returning up pretty nicely. Lack of bearish momentum in the MACD, right? And could actually begin a bigger rollout. So right now we're kind of in a decision. Some bears have some control. All right. The idea is if you begin to break this trend line, you're gone. Actually, I can move this up to closer. See, like this. That makes more sense. That's why I don't allow the wicks, because the wicks is when you capitulate it out of the channel. All right. So here's a fall down. Let's take a look at our baby Bookmap. Oh yeah, and I get my new Bookmap window that I've been using. Bear with me. We'll make sure it's right before I use it, which is the smart thing to do. So Bookmap, let's take a look here. And what is Bookmap? Bookmap shows me where the buys and sells are happening on the order book. It also shows me where people are getting absolutely liquidated. Like longs got liquidated back there, as you can see in that channel. Wow, 2 million. 9 liquidate. That was a serious liquidation. So look, we zoom in, zoom out. When we zoom out, we can look at the liquidity. More liquidity back down at 16,004, 16,005 than up here, suggesting that we will get dragged down a little lower. All right, just down into the zone here, into the 16,500 area. There's just more buys down here, outweighing the sells. Look, not a lot of sells up here. All right. Also, when we looked at the liquidation indicator, it was showing signs of massive amounts of liquidity down in here and not as much up in here. We'll take a look at that in a second on the 15-minute. May you go over EGLD, please. Thank you, Lifer. Sir Majesty Lou, man. Lou, you've been with us for a long time. May God bless you and yours for that 199 super chat. We will take a look at it. And right away, let's do a super chat right away, even though we're in the middle of something, though. Actually, I can't right now. We got to stay with Bitcoin. So it suggests that we do go lower for BTC. All right. It suggests, so this trend line must hold. If this trend line does not hold, in my humble opinion, it's a symmetrical triangle with a base here, and we're breaking down to a double bottom, at least, at the very least, at 15,004, 15,500 area. And then if that doesn't hold, I already showed you the bigger picture. You know, I've shown you what's going down. You're privy to all the information now. You can't say you didn't know. Can't say you weren't sure. You can't say, oh, And again, we're battling a point of control that we've had an issue with over and over again. That's been the green zone, right? That I keep talking about. That we just can't seem to get back above the green zone. The only good thing is, if I copy and paste the green zone, we have another green zone here that we've been bouncing off of nicely. And we've been stuck in these two areas for way too long. And we're at the low range right now with the oversold stochastic on the 4 hour. However, look at that 1 hour with a bearish engulfer. That wants to take you down. And honestly, when rising wedges break to the downside, they break down fast and furiously. So that could send the 1 hour down fast, then that breaks it, and that could begin the beginning breakdown here. Back at least to 16,001. So like right here, you have this last channel, 16,001. That's why you might get a bounce there. You also have a high volume node sticking, or comparatively relative to these, it's the only place you have a little bit of a channel of volume action. So granted, a short squeeze, which I believe we already just kind of occurred right there, But you will have a lot of people jumping in on the short. Could create some liquidity up here. But right now, it's looking more bearish than bullish for Bitcoin, I have to say. On the 1 hour time frame, let's let the 1 hour play out into the afternoon. Tonight, this comes on down and starts to switch up. It could be a completely different story. Maybe we come down, fake everybody out, get back in the pattern, and then the 4 hour breaks on out. There's a chance that's what we see. So be on your toes. Because we, lacked that one day, everything got pushed up a little bit. It's a funny week. So kind of gets everybody a little scrambled too. Take a look at that crypto fear and greed index as well. Don't need that anymore. Let's take a look at the crypto fear at 28. All right, at 28. Last month, it was at 28. It really hasn't moved much. It's been kind of sitting here. I've seen way more fear for better prices, honestly. Usually better prices are down in here. We did get them at 15,000, 17,000, 16,000. We got some really good prices, but, fear and greed index, sorry about that. 28, looking at the fear and greed index. So as you can see, struggling, and so this is what we were looking at here. If this falling wedge here breaks to the downside, it's the base of the falling wedge. So let me zoom in here. So we're watching this 1 hour. So I showed you the weekly. I showed you the daily. We looked at the 4 hour. Now we're looking at the 1 hour time frame, and you can see if that breaks to the downside, we're headed down to 16,365. All right, and it's and then you'd be like, well, how would you know? Well, you'd be looking for a bearish flag of some part on the smaller time frame. Right now, the 5 hour suggests a bit of a bounce. Can we get it? Not amazing. And this is the wedge. I mean, this is what we have to deal with. So because we continuously can't break above previous areas, I suggest that we make, that we're going lower. Until the bulls can get me back above 16,008, 17K, we're going lower. 17,300 really is my big area, and then it's 18,300. That area there too. We can't break back above these zones. Expect more downside, and I've been saying it over and over again. And honestly, this looks like a giant. This could be like a complex head and shoulder pattern that I've seen break out. Even if you flip it upside down, I've seen those break out as inverteds. Complex, inverted, complex head and shoulder pattern. That's also bearish, breaks you to the downside. So I see bearishness there. I see bearishness that we can't get above the zone. Bearishness that we're below a point of control. And bearishness that the 1 hour is overbought on those stochastics RSI. And we have lack of bullish momentum on the MACD, suggesting that we're likely to push down lower or sideways yet again. Again, remember, not a lot of price action is going to happen until next year. The next few days, people are just dollar cost averaging, buying and selling what they need. It's, the market's going to be pretty slow. It's not going to have a lot of punch to it these next 4 days. You got the 29th, the 30th, the 31st, and then we're done. All right? And if you can't sell something until then, you can't use it as a loss. So people that are, looking at what's going on, they're paying attention. I don't know why I'm gold. Why am I gold in here? Oh, that's why. That light's never on. I'm about to say, I was like, why was I golden yellow? I don't need that. I don't need that light. Okay. Been on all night since I got home, and I never use it. Okay, cool. Everything back to square one. So we see what's happening for BTC. The 1 hour looks like we're about to drop to the downside unless smaller time frames like the 15-minute can keep us sideways. 4 hour does want to rip back to the upside. It could save the day. This trend line must hold, in my humble opinion, or if we fake out, we must get back inside to remain bullish. I'm more bearish because I showed you the complex head and shoulder, the fact that we're below the point of control, the fact that on the 4 hour time frame we're also below the 200 SMA. And last night when I made my update, I said you're most likely going to win a short because you're below the 200 SMA on the 4 hour. And it's very simple. Anyone that took, understood that, that education and used it to their advantage was able to make a nice little gain on the short last night. So it's just something to think about. In my trading group, you'll learn a lot about moving averages, supportive resistance, and more. Remember, join the first class of 2023. Where is that puppy? Oh, there it is. Join the first class of 2023. I can't wait to see you in there. I'm going to teach all my skill, what I do. Basically give you a 9-point checklist to look at before you get into a trade. If you had no system at all and you had no real basis of why or what you did, what you were doing, you're going to have a list now. You're going to know what you're doing. You're going to be educated. My plan is to educate as millions of people throughout the world, millions, and change as many lives as humanly possible. The testimonials keep rolling in. I'm going to keep doing it because the testimonials are absolutely amazing. God bless everyone that's left a testimonial. I greatly appreciate it. Lets other people kind of read your story, hear your vision, and puts it out there to the world. So thank you so much for everyone that supports me and join this 2 hour course. It's a live course. You get to hang out with me live. It's awesome. I think it's great. The people I meet in it are amazing. And then a lot of those people join the trading group. And then we have an amazing group of educated people that know what they're doing, are getting educated, are staying safe in the market, and are doing what they have to do to push themselves to the next level. Okay. I still go back to the knowledge Lifer's course has brought to me. Great for learning and developing a trading system. Shout out to Sir Majesty Lou, and he's been watching me almost 2 years, in my humble opinion. One of the first Lifers I ever had. Shout out to Jamie. Shout out to CNC Ireland. Dustin Calva again in the game. Let's take a look at EGLD as we make our move, right? But we went through Bitcoin quite thoroughly. We still have to go over the dollar index and the S&P futures. We have a lot of work to do. We're not done yet today, right? EGLD coming all the way. Ooh. No, that ain't it. Unless did they do something to... Wow, getting hammered down to 33. And it's funny, look, I had this in a flag, right? And I was saying, I guess this can break down to 33. Look, there it goes. One of my favorite projects in the game, EGLD. All the way back to where it began. And honestly, it could get worse. People don't think these altcoins could go make new lows. Lower than they had back in the day. I can't believe it. It was $6. This thing would rip. Wow. The daily is extremely low. You don't really have a strong enough bullish divergence. And, it's just following Bitcoin. It's in that same falling wedge Bitcoin's in. If Bitcoin lets go, most of these big cap coins are going to follow to the downside. Remember, you're below that 200 SMA on the 4 hour time frame, bearish. And I just, there's nothing I can really say. Pointing to the downside here, also suggesting that this goes lower. This flag could break to the downside and go lower. You don't have much more support for EGLD. They changed their name, right, to Metaverse, Multiverse X. Multiverse X for EGLD. This is sad, though. I have to admit. One of my favorite projects, just seeing it just dwindle in the wind like this. Wow. Looks like it could be going lower on that 4 hour time frame. Bigger time frame suggesting, hey, time to scoop it up. You look at the weekly. When the weekly's this low, it's accumulation. My idea was if I'm willing to hold for a year, I'm okay. And so I started broadening my horizons. Okay. But I don't hold a lot of coins. I have to really believe in the project at this point in time to get in. All right. HIDOODLES. Let's take a look at what happened to HIDOODLES. We talked about it in this little flag. Would go sideways, dip, and then fly out again today. Kind of an inverted comp. That's a complex inverted head and shoulder. But look, since I started talking about it down here at 0.8 or 0.7, he said 0.07. Oh yeah, we did. You're right, because we started going over it here. Yeah, you're right. Around 0.007. That's absolutely insane. When we first found HIDOODLES, it was right there. So about a penny, you know, and we started putting it in these channels. And I still remember this flag that we found. And I just scan markets, and I guess you could say I get lucky. I don't know what it is. I believe it's preparation. Luck is preparation meets consistency, right? Or, you know, opportunity meeting preparation. And I'm here every single day. So if I don't take a day off and I grind and I grind and I grind, we're going to get results. And so consistency creates results. It's that simple. And I try to teach that through my actions every single day here on the live by showing up every single day. And it's not easy. There's days where I get up and I'm just like 780 down this, and I'm like, but once I get it growing, once I get the lemon water going, once I realize what my true mission is, and once I realize I'm not at work, I don't have a boss, right? I'm running my own thing. I'm running my own show. No pun intended. I realize, hey, man, you got nothing to worry about. You just got to get up and grind and keep it moving. And look, we just put out HIDOODLES in this little flag here, December 23rd. What a Christmas present. And now it's up a booming 1,000%. It 10x'd since December 23rd when we put it out. What other channel hit a 10x? And it's the highest thing in the game again. And I kept going over these coins, and I kept talking about what they were, and I kept breaking down and explaining what they talked about. And we were the first channel, one of the first channels to probably even explain what these high coins were. I'm telling you, the education here and the knowledge that's passed around and the way we're able to figure out where the gains are coming from is impeccable because we keep doing it. And a month ago, we didn't know what high coins were. None of us did. It just shows that if you show up every single day, you will be blessed with the gems while everyone else is running around not paying attention. 10x's are happening here in cryptocurrency in a week's time. 10x in a week's time. That $100 turns into $1,000 like in 1 week's time. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. HIPUNKS going right behind it with a huge pump to the upside out of this falling wedge. And again, how I play these is I draw what's called a local Fibonacci. And where did it go to? To the 0.618 and the 0.65, the golden pocket. Where did it bounce off of? The 200 SMA. So by using the 200 SMA and the Fibonacci levels with a rounded MACD, a rounded RSI, and a rounded stochastic, and again, above the point of control, these whole things will teach you the special sauce. All right? HISQUIGGLE. Back here, we first talked about it. It's up huge right now with no stop loss getting hit. Maybe a little bit there on that wick. You never know. But up 93% for HISQUIGGLE. All right? HIODS up huge from when I put it out here. I found it in this giant inverted head and shoulder. It was making this cup and handle. Cup and handle suggested that it could get all the way up here to about 77%. It boomed up to 96, still holding a 50% gains for HIODS. So we continue. I traveled yesterday. I was sitting in the airport just kind of scanning markets, looking, and I'm there alone, and I'm just like, and I'm not lying, I'm alone in the airport. No, I mean, my wife walked away for a second, and I'm just, sitting, and I see, if you take this off, and I saw this is what I saw, and I drew it, right? And I was like, man, that looks like that could make some gains. I mean, it was tight. 15-minute was like trying to do this, low loop. It was very low. And the lack of bearish momentum in the MACD. And it had the indications. Falling volume with falling price. This is something that tells me a lot because it's showing me lack of sellers. And my subconscious brain started picking up a possibility here. I also like putting the RSI in a bit of a falling wedge. Tends to kind of give me a bit of an edge. Wedge in an edge. I like my eggs wedged. Shout out to 455 beautiful people on the live, 250 likes. Can we get the likes up to the watchers? I would greatly appreciate it. It would be the nicest thing you ever did. Great karma move for you and yours. It would be awesome. I'm back in the home studio. I made it home safe after 10 days in Sarasota, Florida. It was freezing cold in Florida. They tried to chill us out over there. It was unbelievable. And so lo and behold, look at PIAS. This thing would rip to the upside for massive gains too. And that was just during a plane. Like I was in the airport. So when everyone says like, I have a busy life, I can't do the blah, blah, I always just I just can't hear it. To me, they're just simply excuses. HIDOODLE continuing going in somewhat of a tear here. I mean, and look at this 15-minute in a falling wedge. I mean, to me, it's very high risk, but wow. Says that just the want for this thing, and it's NFTs. I mean, people like it, and if they like the NFT, the people that buy the NFTs might, like this idea too. All right. We did just break back below 16,600. Got a liquidation there on the longs too. 21.8 on Bitcoin, as Bitcoin sits at 16,598 right now, battling that 16,600 area of support. All right. HIDOODLES could make another gain here. Jeez Louise, this thing is just unstoppable. That's a falling wedge. You have lack of bearish momentum. Oversold in the stochastics. Could make another move. I can't believe that. HIDOODLES. Again, that's high risk though, and that'd be completely up to you. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. I'm personally not in that trade, right? But you got that falling volume with falling price, and you got that oversold stochastic, and people are just fiending for this stuff, and I don't know what's happening, but it's getting absolutely blasted to the upside, up 1,000% gainer. HIDOODLES. And people in my trading group taking gains on gains. So, and again, not a lot. $200 turns into $2,000. $300 turns into $3,000. $500 turns into $5,000 in the bear market. I mean, I find that absolutely insane. You tell me, what do y'all think about HIDOODLES? What do you got? Let me look at the chat here. What do you guys think about HIDOODLES going up 1,200% in about a week's time? I just love the name HIDOODLE. Yeah, it rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? Check my HIDOODLE posted at 99. I cannot believe it. I am in shock. Shout out to Laura Marshall. What did you post, Laura? Wow, buy at 1 cent for $9. Sell for 9 cents for $600. Turn $9 into $600. That's insanity. Wait, how is that possible though? A 10x? Bought it just 1 penny. $9.98. $10. Oh, it won't be $90. I'm confused. I don't know. I don't get it. Being a Lifer, 5,900% gains. October 2nd, low cap sketchy coin for 10 cents, $10 at 0.014 at 9 for $600. Turn 10 and doing nothing else, just waiting. How did it go up? I'm so confused. Oh no, yeah, it was 0.1. It wasn't even a penny yet. It was 0.1. Yeah, like that's insane. That's a 60x. So people in my trading group turned $9. Like, look at this. She turned $9 into $600. I mean, that's insanity. Only in cryptocurrency. I'm telling you right now, and it's happening daily. Like, that's insanity. It's extremely high risk. I'm not going to say it's not, but like, that's just nuts. And it's been about October, November, December. It took 3 months. HIDOODLE, man. Yup. We started playing with these high coins, man, back in the day. Back in the day. Unbelievable. I will never be a blind holder again. Makes me feel foolish buying and holding all the way down. But this information will pay me the rest of my life, so it's cool. Exactly. You got 10 years to make up for it. You'll be all right. And that's how I look at it. Time is going to go by faster than you realize. Whatever pain you're in, whatever problem you're going through right now, just take a deep breath and realize 2 years are going to be gone like that. And you're going to be, you're going to get through this problem. You're going to get through this pain. Whatever's hitting you, you're going to get through it. And I'm talking to myself right now because I'm going through things all the time. My life isn't peachy dory. More money, more problems is a true statement sometimes. I've had more issues than I've ever thought possible once I kind of became somewhat successful or got on the top, even just began to touch the tailwind of success, and I don't even think I'm even close to it yet. But, I get to quit my job. I do get to travel. I do get to do whatever I really want to do now with my life, which I never got to do before. I barely would go on one flight a year. So for me to fly 4 times since October, that's insane. I look back on that, I'm like, wow, but what a beautiful life we live. And shout out to my whole team. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Appreciate each and every one of you for jumping on in. 473 people, 279 likes. Can we get those likes up? I'm going to call y'all out, whoever, those 200 people lurking in the shades, lurking in the lurkers. Come on. There's 200 of you beautiful people. If I showed up to your show, I would clap. If I showed up to anything you were doing, I would send that love your way. And look at this 77. Always coming through. This 77 lately has just been brewing. It's always around. Shout out to my beautiful people, though. I love you. And again, do whatever makes you happy. I'm grateful for the likes that I do have. God bless me for each and everything. Thank you, dear Lord, for every single thing that you've given me. I appreciate each and every one of you for being in my life. And just, that we get to go over these coins. We get to have fun. We get to go over what I love to do. And this is what I love to do with my life. I love it. So thank you for everyone helping me and supporting me and showing us the love. Look at HIPUNKS getting that move out of the falling wedge. Boom. To the upside. Unreal. And those are the 2 biggest gainers. And look, the TA played out here. Tight moving averages. I don't buy when the 21 and the 200 are far apart. It's telling me that something is scary. Right now, you're getting the price action really far away from the 21. Whenever that happens, you're going to get a bit of a reset like here. Eventually, you came back to the 21. Back to the 21. Back to the 21. Back to the 21. If I teach you anything, I teach you how price action loves to come and visit the 21-day moving average. Okay? Key insight. In Solana, getting dumped on, right, with the recent, just kind of more and more bad news kind of out of the SBF thing. And that's becoming a debacle, right? Caroline has completely ratted on him 110%. Basically said he knew everything. He did it all. So did the other guy. And they're going to get 3 to 5 years, 3 to 7. They're going to get off after 3 years of easy, And they're going to be able to move on with their lives. I don't know what's happening with the other camp. And shadiest thing on earth, $250 million worth of bond when you only have. So it was really a promissory bond saying, we promise he won't go anywhere. Really what it came down to. Completely on promises. Someone who stole tons of money, completely on promises. Pretty strange to me. But we're going to see how this plays out. And you know what? Because we didn't get so into this nonsense, we found HIPUNKS. I stayed doing what I do, which is focusing on what I love to do, which is technical analysis. Over and over again. Look, that's a cup and handle. Cup and handles explode to the upside. Look at that cup and handle on HICOOLCATS. Absolutely ripping to the upside. All right. Boom. Length of the pole is how you get to the next level. Bang. One Earth. Is it a good time to get in HIDOODLE? I mean, if you're asking, it probably isn't. And again, don't ever ask me if it's a good time to get into a coin because I'm never going to tell you what to do with your money. I'm not a financial advisor. That's a bait and switch type of question. I love you, Clinton. That's an interesting query, Clinton query. Funny, I must have to say. But honestly, you'd have to decide that. You'd have to take my course, get educated, and if the education made sense to you and the risk made sense to you, you'd have to be able to answer that question for yourself. And no one can answer these types of questions. I don't ask someone else whether it's a good time to get into a coin or not. And if I did, it wouldn't serve me properly. Okay. We'll take a look at One Earth, which I do have on the radar since this morning. I need that green pixel. Free is what I live for. Jamie, yeah, this group is the best around. No cap. Because of Crypto Lifer. Shout out to Skinny Low, my man. Shout out to everybody here. Crypto 420, Lazy Boy Luke. Shout out to Chase and Donna. SBF did not. Yeah, I know, right? It's getting like that. Thank you for Tyler Wilson for the One Earth. And you can see what's happening here. These small coins are taking over. Me and my crew are nailing it. Shout out to David Kendall. He's been on a tear. He's been on a vengeance. David's like, you know what? I'm going to grab this market like a rubber chicken, and I'm just going to squeeze every little thing that it has. And so if you join my trading group, you get access to so many different things. Look, he had HIDOODLE in the flag. Bang. We do this 160%. He nailed it. He called it before it even happened. He was all over it. Man. So you get access to the elite charters. You get access to me and my charts and my videos. I did a video update. I was up at 5 this morning grinding in the trading group. Here's my update at 6:29 a.m. after I already had about an hour to look through the market. I did my Bitcoin update, right? And then some other things that I was looking at on my radar. So let's take a look at our baby One Earth. And I got TA just kind of sitting and waiting on it. So it's pretty simple to me. It's starting to form a symmetrical triangle, or it almost more looks like a bull pennant. But I'll say symmetrical triangle, right? To me, it came up, retraced all the way back down to the 0.618, 0.65, golden pocket, double bottomed off the golden pocket, came back up. Now it seems to be kind of, trying to make a bounce here off this trend line. And it's in a falling wedge. It's very oversold. The 4 hours pointing to the upside. One Earth looks like it's going to make a bit of a move here. 197% possible gains for One Earth. One Earth did it again before we looked at it. We nailed this move. We'd waited for it to retrace. We've been watching the levels. Again, it's my system. Moving averages are tight. Once they get far apart, I'm out. I don't touch when the 21 and the 200 are far apart. I want to see them get close again. The 200 starting to move parallel with the bottom of the channel. These are things that I look for. So this is starting to brew. One Earth is on my radar. Something that I'm starting to look at. One Earth. Thank you for the super chat. May God bless you and yours for supporting me and my team. Your boy is back in the chart, Sammy. It was so nice seeing you, Sam. Can't wait for the next episode when you're back in Florida. Shout out to Jamal Antonio. May God bless you and yours, man. It was awesome. I mean, honestly, I would have hung out more because I would have been driving around more. I was going to go to the pier. It was freezing cold at night. It wasn't a nice night all the time. It was tough. I didn't even get to see my man, Roddy. And I was there for 10 days, longer than I usually am. Can clearly see charts in you. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Nick FLP with the music. May God bless you. Apple dumping just added to today's final tax loss harvest. Yep, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. At least you're taking care of it. It's not fun to do that. It's like cleaning out your room of old. It's not fun, but you got to do it. And you know what? It's like getting rid of old baggage too, man. Sometimes it feels good just to sell off and just be like, you know what? I made a mistake. It's a loss. It is what it is. It's the life of a trader. It's going to happen. Get ready to get over it. The better you are at handling the downs in life and just turning them into positives, the better you are going to be at life in general. That's life, right? What's crack-a-lackin'? Shout out to Gina Bombina jumping into the house. Shout out to CNC. Shout out to all my awesome blue crew. Dustin in the game. Bang, bang, bang. So thank you for the super chats. You people are absolutely amazing. And it's time to look at ES1, the S&P futures. I did some work on it last night. Look, I have it in a Selby, cup and handy to the upside. Oh, no. Yes. So, look, we're looking for this move here back on out. Can we get it is the question. 4 hour is kind of squiggling with some higher lows. There's a chance we could get a move back to the upside. However, if we do not and we get rejected by this top trend line, likely we come down to the bottom of the wedge, which is at 33.57. Not amazing. Not amazing. 33.57 here for the S&P futures. Very correlated to Bitcoin. Cryptocurrency happens to follow the S&P 500 very, very closely. All right, Bitcoin's at 16,580 now, battling it out. Let me just flip you over to the Bookmap cam and keep you privy to what's happening. Remember, Bookmap, link in the description below. See where the liquidity is sitting. See what's happening. You can actually see what's going on the order book. Who's buying what? How much liquidity is where? Basically, how many people? Look, this guy right here, 16,005. You get 1,543 Bitcoin attempting to get bought there. We very well could go sideways from 15.8 all the way to 17K for the next 4 to 5 months and chew through this area of support or resistance. And the little altcoins will still fire off and we'll find these huge gains like HIDOODLE and all these other things in the game. So keep showing up. Keep doing what you do. I'm going to keep doing what I do. And that's how we found HIDOODLE. That's why the group, I believe, pays for itself with the knowledge that you learn. You know what I mean? I don't want to make any guarantees, and I'm not that guy. You got to put in the work. I would never sell you, a get-rich-quick scheme. Not going to happen. You got to learn the discipline. It's going to take time. Then you got to change your subconscious brain. you got to really change your subconscious mind. You got to change the way you think about things. You got to change the way you interpret the world so that you don't go to fear when you read the news. They want fake emotions acting real. Yeah. And when you live in fear, you can't believe in God, because if you believed in God, why would you live in fear? It doesn't make sense. The two don't go hand. They don't go together. Doesn't make sense. Does everyone understand that? Okay. It's like if you're a surfer and you're afraid of the wave, you're not going to be able to use the power of the wave to surf. God is very similar to a powerful wave. It's more powerful than you, but you can surf God's way. But if you're in fear and you don't think it's real, and basically you don't think the wave can push you, then the wave won't be able to push you. If you don't think there's opportunity in your life, then there's not opportunity in your life. Life is, you create the opportunity that you see in your life. You create it. You're the co-creator of your life. That's why you need to remain positive, because you create the positivity. You create the movement. You create that expressive nature in yourself to expand and progress. That's you. And every single moment. Thank you so much for that super chat. Look at the balls jumping out in the jar there. You got to love that. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Let me read that out loud here. The Bombo. And that's a new, I've never seen the Bombo super chat me. That's a new one. Thank you for the love. Is that an upside down cup and handle on ETH 15-minute chart? I'm seeing that, or a potential double bottom starting on the 22 hour. We'll take a look at ETH there. Thank you for asking. So the ES1, in my humble opinion, needs to stay above 37.55. If it does not, we're likely headed down here for a possible double bottom at 35.60, and then we'll go from there to the lower channel. So can we get back above this point of control? Can this 4-hour squiggle on out, right? And we want to look at that 22-hour, which still has some gas, but had a bearish cross right there to the downside. Not a good sign. 3-day getting oversold the daily, suggesting that we could eventually get a move back to the upside. So we're going to watch this very closely. Chances also look a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, kind of a giant inverted head and shoulder here too as well. So we're going to watch this closely. We lose these levels, Bitcoin could follow it to the downside. Very well. It does most of the time. I'm not going to say it's guaranteed, but they've been very correlated recently. Looking at the dollar, we're oversold in the daily, and we didn't get back above 105. This is exactly what I talked about. This is what we dreamed about. This is the plan. So we want to hope this kind of stays rejection here. We'll move this. Let me go to the 4-hour so I can see a little more price action. Sad to say, it looks like it did try to break out. But we could say it's really just at a resistance point. But it did try to break out here on the 4-hour time frame. It pumped up, but lackluster. Not a lot of movement. And this is looking like you're going to see a move here. 22-hour wants to take you down. The daily wants to take you down. I'm seeing the daily likely going to make a move to the downside. So here we go. And this is a bear flag. We came into it to the downside. Continuation pattern. We could continue to 102. Bear pennant, man. 102. And shout out to PPWT Films donating $50 to the super chat. Let's look at the balls hit the jar. Boom. Wow. And those are huge balls. Look at the size of the balls you dropped in there. They exploded the jar. You dropped some big balls in there. Thank you for the $50 dropping the balls. Keep kicking, Bot Lifer. Blessing. Shout out to PPWT Films. May God bless you and yours, man. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you for the $50 super chat. I appreciate that. Keeps me going, man. It's not easy to rip through the bear market every single day. Look for every single thing I can. Educate as many people as I can. Get the word out there about these high coins. Figure out what's happening. Be able to switch modes. Be able to, change up the gears and keep it moving no matter what happens in the market. I appreciate each and every one of you for jumping on in and being here with me every single day. Can I get those likes up to the watchers? It would be greatly appreciated. It would just be amazing. You'd be doing the right thing at the right time, in my humble opinion. So if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing, right? So we don't want to see the dollar get back above 104.89. That's our line in the sand for me personally. And we want to get rejected by the 200 SMA. And we want to see this move back to the downside. So far, the dollar has just been slowly bleeding out. I did call the top of the dollar here at this bearish divergence in the falling wedge. I don't know if you remember the rising wedge, if you remember. That's when I started buying Bitcoin in this area. That's why I bought the Bitcoin at 19,200, because to me, the dollar was topped out. However, we got the dump on the dollar with a dump with Bitcoin, which, I guess Bitcoin had to follow its own cycle regardless of its inverse correlation. Now we're back kind of slightly correlated again, and we're watching. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter the correlation or not. I'd rather see the dollar dump down as much as humanly possible. I don't want to see it pumping up, right? If anything. So, and they still are correlated. I mean, if the dollar continues to lose value, Bitcoin doesn't lose as fast, then it's going to go up in value. It's just that simple. So, and if they keep printing the dollar, then where do we stand? Okay. ACD has a song about it. You're funny, man. And look at that reigning champ there, $50 super chat. Who could knock him off the top? No, I'm just. Will Solana recover to 30 USD? I don't know. I don't really care. You know what? I have such a bad taste in my mouth from SBF and all that stuff. Why would people not hit the like button? Shout out to my man Justin Cashmore in the house. Man, it's so cool to see a name and know the face, know the family, and know the vibe. That's so interesting. Changes the whole live stream for me, because now you all, it's like, I mean, you're real people when I see the name, but to know the face and actually know the family and to be connected to you guys, unbelievable. We'll take a look at Penguin in a second. Hi, Penguin starting to make a bit of a move here. So my man said on ETH, on the super chat for ETH, right? He said, is that an upside down cup and handle on ETH 15-minute chart? So let's take a look here. I mean, to me, it's like a shoulder, head and shoulder, and it's a rounded top too. Rounded tops do not pay the bills, and it just kind of follow Bitcoin. It's following Bitcoin. It's in the exact same thing Bitcoin's in, right? Like we had Bitcoin in this. The only thing it didn't have is that bigger spike Bitcoin had, and it fell out of the channel, and now you're trying to get the double bottom, and if not, you're going to go, you know what I mean? And we could break down ETH for you in a second here. I got a lot of lines. Let's see what was brewing. So we look at ETH on the bigger picture, and you can see, I mean, it's starting to get the rounded. See, I don't mind these bear markets, and I don't mind waiting, and I have the patience. But I just want to see us eventually, this is what happens. Like the last bear market. You're dumping, and eventually you begin to round out. And so we're waiting for these rounded bottoms. Rounded bottoms pay the bills. Once I feel comfortable with a rounded bottom, I start, that's when I start, like a squirrel, I start packing my nuts for the winter. You know what I mean? That's when I start stacking my food. All right. And so do we go lower? There's a chance. Is this the bottom? Nobody knows. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I'm not going to tell you I know where Bitcoin's going, or I know exactly it's going to follow this exact cycle every time. I am just going to point out things that I see. Like the weekly does have bullish divergence, which to me is so strong. Do we come lower here and bounce? We could capitulate, wick. We could wick down to the 600 area, to 645. We could wick down to 500, come back up, and then round out. So we're looking for a rounded bottom for Ethereum, in my humble opinion. You said is the 15-minute, is that, I didn't see what you saw. Kind of messy. You can kind of say here is there and there was the handle up. I see what you're saying here. Right? They're like, this is kind of a cup. It's not. It's a mess though. This is a bit of a handle here, and it did break down. For sure. But again, when you look at a pattern, when you look at anything, you go to the bigger time frames. The daily, You set you can see there's heavy support and resistance at 1800. We get back above 1800, like we can begin to build. And you can see the low range and the high range areas. We do a low, we made a high, we made a higher low. We must put in a higher high to remain bullish. So Ethereum has to break, in the next couple of months, has to close a candle above 2100 in the bigger scheme of the trend. This is a falling wedge. Falling wedges do break up 68% of the time. And so now you get your bigger idea here, and you're above, you're battling. So you go to your 4 hour now, and you're like, okay, I can see kind of what's happening on the daily, in the daily parameter. 4 hours oversold, just like Bitcoin. Bitcoin does want to get a bounce on the 4 hour time frame. And then you're looking at this pattern here that you know, the kind of like this. Tighten a wedge, eventually that's going to move. And so the 1 hour is kind of dwindling. And so you're kind of, and again, even though it may beat up on Bitcoin, like ETH BTC is looking pretty nice. I'll show that in a second. I mean, there's a chance here. What I mean is, even though it might beat up on Bitcoin, it's going to follow Bitcoin generally. It's going to follow Bitcoin, you know, like closely. Within 80 to 90% of the move. You're going to see that, you know. Wow, 350 people on the like button. You people are amazing. Like now we're rocking and rolling. Now we're closing in. We're closing in on those 130 people. This side is getting bigger than that side. I love watching the struggle, the battle between the views and the likes. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Appreciate you all for being here. May God bless each and every single one of you. You're beautiful people. You deserve the best. I want to love you with everything I have. I want to give you everything I have. With my knowledge comes the love. With my love comes the knowledge. That's why I do what I do. All right? And, you know, I believe if I live in love, then I can't be hurt. I can't be beat. And life will continue to go in the way it's supposed to go. It's been going that way ever since I started doing it, and I surrendered myself to God. So let's keep it going, baby. And I'm not saying I'm the greatest person on earth, and I'm not saying I don't have faults. But I did give up alcohol this year. Haven't had a sip in a year. Helped my life tremendously. If you're considering it, hey, I didn't miss anything the last year. All those nights that I would have had a sip or just kind of wasted time. Or maybe even acted out of line. Who knows what would have happened, just, you know. Or maybe even done something different, or, you know, or just, who knows? You know, kept me out of trouble when I was in Miami, kept me out of trouble in Las Vegas. Didn't need alcohol in my life. So, you know, if I can preach anything besides technical analysis, I'll preach that alcohol has no place in your life, and you're going to be great without it. And don't worry how many people drink, and don't worry why you think it's so regular, but everyone has a drink at the game. Everyone has a drink at the party. Everyone has a drink at the wedding. I know they do, but you don't have to. But you know what? Not everybody has Bitcoin, and not everybody believes in the history of the fiat currency. Not everybody does their due diligence. So you kind of think, you know, you're a lifer. You're a different conscious being now. You're changing as a human, and your behavior is going to change, and the things you do and your habits will change, and that's going to change your life. Straight up. Straight up. Straight up. Card says, I've never had alcohol. I don't know how it tastes like. I don't ever drink, ever. Amazing. Amazing. I grew up in Boston, Irish, where people were just pouring liquor on my face when I was young. It was not really, but you know what I mean? It just felt like it was the thing to do. We would go up to the woods and get hammered. I've never had a drink my entire life. 37 years sober. That's insane. Co-creation, baby. Justin Cashmore. Alcohol ruins people. Stick with the oils, my man. Only lemon water. 16 days sober here. Shout out to Bearded in Japan. Hope you keep going, man. May God bless you and yours. The only alcohol I use is to clean my glass, my man. Shout out to Dustin Cava in the game. 4 years sober next month. Emery Thomason, my man. Keep it going. Don't worry every single day. Don't worry about the big time. Sometimes all that time, and just take it one day at a time. If you can get through today, then handle today. If you get through the next hour, that's how that's how it is. To the woods and got hammered. Pause. It's true, though. I need 70% ethol for distant. Yeah. I grew up in the ghetto of Canada. Booze is just no good. I watched it ruin lives. 3 years sober from buzz and 16 from all drugs. Let's go. Congrats, you on all sobriety. Well done. Wow. I'm taking up day drinking in 2018, man. I was given a glass of red wine every meal time from the age of 12. And I enjoy wine, but I have no alcohol problems. I guess it varies by person. It depends. I used to drink wine too. Life's too short not to have fun. Jay, God bless you, man. 6 years since I've had a drink. And honestly, I don't mind if someone does want to have a drink. It doesn't bother me none. I drank for years, so I'm not going to just turn around and be like, hey. But it's just something I think about in 2023, you know. Anyway, I'm done. I'm not preaching. I love you all. I'm not saying I don't I'll just end it there. People take it differently. And I can see how that happens. All right. So my man's like all about high penguins going parabolic. Keeps telling me, man, that thing's going to get that move. That parabolico. And man, he called it. Look at that. HIPENGUINS just absolutely went insane, 143%. And we put this out. Look, no stop loss got hit in the making of this trade and only risking 15%. So like I put $1,000. The worst I lose is $150, and I can gain $1,400. Like that's insane. A 9 to 8 risk reward ratio at the end of that. I mean, we didn't know at the time. It was a way smaller gain. I was just going for the measured move. 369, which was great. Look, 369. That's funny. But look at the move there on HIPENGUINS. And if you didn't know what these tokens were, if you didn't understand what's going on, you couldn't make these gains. So you got to educate yourself. And trading groups are great places to understand, good ones, not ones that just pump and dumps and stuff like that. I would never do that. And anyone that does that, I completely think it's disgusting and I want nothing to do with it. But honestly, like, if there's a project that people like and you're getting volume and people are getting into it, I mean, and you understand what's happening, why do people want to get into these? Because they want fractional reserve coins. They want a fraction of a Bored Ape Yacht Club. They want a fraction of a HIDOODLE. They want a fraction of a HIPENGUIN. Okay? Are these high coins going to continue to pump? This can't go on forever, but I'm having FOMO. My thing is this, you don't have FOMO. We'll find another group of something in the next couple of months. We didn't know this was going to happen 2 months ago in October when I was just, when we started in September. I didn't know these high coins, they didn't even exist. So what's going to happen in the next 2 months that didn't exist is if we project that great things are coming to us, then great things are coming to us. You get it? We're going to turn this into reality. So don't FOMO for anything. FOMO is fear. Fear of missing out, and you don't want to use fear. Fake emotions acting real. We trade these coins on KuCoin. We need a high Lifer coin. You're funny. High Fluff tomorrow, Lifer. Another one coming out? Yeah, see, there's going to be more and more. Okay. Book your 2023 Lifer Vision trading course. That's another thing that I like to plug whenever, a couple times during the live stream. I do teach this class every Tuesday from 3 to 5. Jump on in as soon as you can. I'm going to teach this class. If you join the trading group, it's $60. If not, it's $100. Email Crypto Lifers to pay in PayPal. Okay. Lifer coin, let's go. High on life, I love that. High coins are rug shufflers. It's easy as that, just like all new ones. I don't know. I'm just trading them, man. In and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. But look at that. I mean, HIPENGUINS, HISQUIGGLE. Just every day there's another one booming on them. Just crazy to me. Because I never thought it possible. I didn't think there was going to be anything like this. And look, the Gala short pumping to the upside. Gala just getting short. Look, I had this cup and handle. That started the move. This thing is up huge now. Shorting Gala, 397% gains. Shorting Gala. See? I've just, and there's ways to make money in this market. Look, JSMY was in that fallen wedge. That short boomed. So if you look at high BAYC, it's in that falling wedge. It's trying to make a higher low now. Ooh, sorry for that MACD. But see, it's trying to make, it's attempting to do this thing here. Now, if you're trading altcoins, one thing I want to show you is Total 3. This is the entire market cap of all altcoins, excluding Ethereum and Bitcoin. You see that? Exclude Bitcoin and Ethereum. And it didn't look good last night. Like when I really took a big look at this. Look at the 22-hour coming to the downside here in a bit of a bear flag. And that actually started to dump from when I've looked at it, and it has room to go down. It says we could go lower to 266 billion. I mean, we're already down to 293 billion, the altcoins. These are the mighty altcoins that reached $1 trillion by themselves. All of these altcoins without Ethereum and Bitcoin were $1 trillion at one point. Can you believe that? We're back where it all started when we were at like 100 billion, 390 billion. I can't believe that. The altcoin market back to speculation mode, back to $293 billion. And I was looking at this. I mean, this is a quick leg up. That means we could have a quick leg down. The only big support is 145, 198. And we could easily lose $100 billion in alts like that. So just be careful hodling your way to the ground because it can get worse. I just want you to understand that. And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not trying to tell you what's going to happen. And I don't know. But it may and it can get worse. Hey, Lifer, been caught up with a crazy week of work and haven't been able to keep up with a lot of crypto news. Would you mind taking a look at Band Protocol? God bless and thanks. Shout out to Xander Harris in the game. Appreciate you for the love, man. Thank you for coming on in. And follow me on Twitter, man. We're really trying to get to 10,000 followers on Twitter. I would greatly appreciate it. BlackRock on Twitter. That's interesting. Knicks at the Mavericks. Celtics at the Rockets. 9,846 followers. Can we get all the way up there? Only 150 more to get to 10,000. 10,000 followers on Twitter would be a great blessing before the end of the year, but it would be a great blessing at any moment in time. How we do that? Let's do a tweet here. All right. Oh, yeah. How do you truly feel about Cardano? Ada, baby. If you had to choose ADA or ETH, and that's actually 2 tweets. I have to come back. I kind of like that one better. That one's kind of vicious. You know, we could put a poll out there too. If you had to choose ADA or ETH, I like that because that's like an ultimatum. If you had to choose ADA or ETH, and why? Best answer. I will hook you up. All right. Best answer. $100 BTC going to you. So, and that's going out right now. So, and you got to get a Twitter account if you don't have one. If you know, undo, and that's why I have Twitter Blue. Look, if you had to choose, I love that. If you had to choose ADA or ETH, and if you had to choose, is it ADA or ETH, and why? Tweet out best answer that I get to read. I'll read as many as I can. Best answer that I get to read. I'd like to get not 100 comments, 50 retweets. You know, as many 75 likes, but I need 100 comments, 50 retweets. If we get that, I'm going to, you know, $100 BTC flying out the window. So let me know if you had to choose, is it ADA or ETH, and why? Let me know immediately in the section. And if you have trouble finding this, what I do is I go right to the comments here. I throw this right here in the comment section, and then we'll pin this. And that way you can jump on in. Beam me up, Scotty. Beam me up to the upside. Appreciate you. And what was that? $9 again. Crypto news. God bless. Band protocol. Yeah, Band was getting tighter and tighter in the zone. Remember? Looked like it was going to make a bit of a move. And we're getting that bounce slightly. We fell through. You could say, we're kind of just holding the bottom of the zone. And it looks like we're going to go sideways for the rest of the week, in my humble opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if we just kept going sideways and extended this move sideways for another couple of days. And honestly, the only thing to play are the small cap altcoins because they like to pump when Bitcoin goes sideways. It's just that simple. And that's why we're always finding, look, HIPUNKS, HISQUIGGLE, HIODs, the ones we were playing, the ones we were looking at, biggest gainers in the game. I don't know. You tell me. Shout out to the 431 beautiful people, 395 likes. Can we get the likes up to the watchers? I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the love. Ooh, sorry about that. Had this thing over. Sorry about that. Okay. And now, as we do, and as we like to bring you your daily news update, we're trying to bring a new segment. No, we are. Stop with that try nonsense. We're bringing a new segment into the trading group, and let's. Okay, breaking it down. MicroStrategy added $2,500 Bitcoins for $45 million in the last 2 months. The software company also sold a small amount of the cryptocurrency for the first time. They sold a little bit, which is interesting. Crazy. MicroStrategy, the business software vendor that was co-founded by crypto proponent Michael Saylor, added to its Bitcoin stockpile, purchasing about 2,395 Bitcoins for $42 million. Unbelievable, right? That's a lot of Bitcoin. Imagine if you get your hands on that much Bitcoin. What would you do? What would you do if you had 2,395 Bitcoins? Last Thursday, the company sold about 704 for 11 million on the premise that a loss in the transaction would offset previous capital gains. Yes, it just took a capital gains loss. The dollar cost. They said, Then on Saturday, the company acquired an additional 810 for 316 million, bringing its total holdings up to 132,500 Bitcoins. That's worth about 200.2 billion at the current prices, compared with MicroStrategy's acquisition cost of $4 billion. The sale last week marks the first time MicroStrategy has sold Bitcoin since it began acquiring the cryptocurrency in 2020. Unbelievable, though. He continues to grab BTC. FTX Sam Bankman-Fried borrowed from Alameda to buy Robinhood shares. Alameda took out a loan, pledging those same shares as collateral. So he would use his money to buy real assets and then use those assets to take out more collateral. So there was we don't know how deep this goes. This could go even deeper than we know. It may not be over. I'm telling you right now. So former FTX chief Sam Bankman-Fried borrowed hundreds of billions of dollars from Alameda Research to purchase his stake of the trading app Robinhood. According to the court documents, in an affidavit provided to the Caribbean court before his arrest, Bankman-Fried said he and co-founder Gary Wang together borrowed over $546 million from Alameda via promissory notes in April and May. They used that money to capitalize Emergent Fidelity Technologies Ltd., the shell corporation that in May bought a 7.6% stake of Emergent Fidelity Technologies. Wow. The affidavit provides a new curveball in the three-way race to lay claim to the 56 million Robinhood shares. Crypto lender BlockFi, FTX Group, and Bankman-Fried himself have all attempted to lay claim to the shares, which could be worth over $440 million. Crypto lender BlockFi, which is like FTX, has filed for bankruptcy, alleged in a court document that was owned the rights to Robinhood shares due to a deal Bankman had made in early November. The shares were pledged as collateral against a loan taken out by Alameda Research, the same firm whose funds were used to purchase the shares to begin with. Dude, it's like a wraparound, man. It sounds just like the banking system of the what we have now. Bitcoin miner Argo to sell the largest facility to stay afloat. Stock doubles. Interesting. Bitcoin miner Argo blockchain is letting go of its largest mining facility to avoid going bust, but will retain ownership of its rigs. Argo is selling its flagship Helios plant located in Dickens County, Texas to Galaxy Digital for $65 million. See? And who's coming on in there? That is your man, right? Mike Novogratz buying Galaxy Digital. Moving on in there, that's an interesting thing there that you're going to see. Mike knows the game. He's in it for the long haul. He's slowly going to gobble up more and more of this area. In 10 years from now, he will be running the show. Argo CEO hopes to see the other side of the Bitcoin bear. Still, markets respond positively to the news. Argo could avoid bankruptcy in the short term, more than doubling on the London Stock Exchange. Funny. So people are like, okay, they got faith that maybe they're doing some of the right things to stay afloat, help that overall share price pump to the upside. So we looked at the total market cap for all the altcoins. Not amazing. Doesn't mean we can't get a pump to the upside. Let's take a look at our 3-day. Our 3-day does suggest a move eventually, and we do have this strong bullish divergence. This could this be our bottom and our bounce, or do we just kind of go sideways? What we want is the rounded bottom. Could this be the beginning of the rounded bottom? It would be glorious if it would. We would eventually come out of it in November 2023, which make perfect sense, okay? Make perfect sense as we kind of begin to double back above $370 billion. Shout out to my lifers who are kicking it with me. 388 people, 400 likes. Yes, now we got more likes than the watchers. I knew we could do it. We did it, baby. Shout out to everybody here on the live. I appreciate you all for accomplishing that feat. It's not an easy feat to do, all right? And shout out to everybody here. Sorry I was a couple minutes late earlier today. First time back in the home studio. I worked out. I thought it was 8 o'clock. Next thing I know, I finished workout, go to take a shower, and it's 9:44. And I was like, babe, is that right? She's like, yeah, it's 9:44. I was like, 9:44? No way. No way. And honestly, I went through one of the most stressful vacations I've ever been through in my life. If I get a chance to tell it, I'm going to tell it. I got to talk to, my lawyers first before I can actually even dispel it. I'm going to just go over it beforehand. And maybe I never get to truly tell the story except for my close people. But what I've gone through in the last 10 days, I wish on not even my worst enemy. I really believe that, because it was the most pain and anguish I've been through in a long time. Internal pain, a pain that is grueling, a pain that pulls, a pain that just you can't get rid of. It's like knowing you're sentenced to something, but you have a month off. You know what I mean? And so I was in Florida. I had to come home to take care of business, but I couldn't. Otherwise, I would have ruined the vacation. So I just sat there in limbo. And then the weather was horrible, so I couldn't even get my mind off that by going into the beach and having a blessing and just being like, so I had to sit. It was tough. And it's still tough, and it's not easy. But you know what? It taught me how to be more spiritual. It taught me how to let go of all my material wants and goods. And it made me realize that all I am is this energy force inside, and all I have is the belief in what I am. And if I believe I can do something, I can. And if I want to push forward, I will. And that's kind of it, you know? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Shout out to Laura for 60xing her $9. I still think that's absolutely amazing. Way to take a very little risk and still get a huge reward. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. I mean, that's basically almost a year in my trading course if you take the, you know, the Cyber Monday. And so if you think about it, that's like paying for a year for $9. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Or whatever you have, whatever you want to, whatever you're going after. You can see I'm scruffy from the plane. I will attempt to shave tomorrow. Oh, I don't mind being scruffy for a couple days and then kind of moving forward, you know, getting on. And I'm a little hot. I'll bring the camera down an angle tomorrow. Let me actually do that now. I'm at the end of the stream. We're winding down. I think 2 notches up is going to be perfect for me. Yeah, that's not bad. I think that's a little bit, yeah, that's going to give the shadow effect there. That's what we're doing. And this, you get a little shininess on this shirt. Just got this shirt too for Christmas. You know, hey, and I'm wearing pants. J. Crew gray pants. I love these pants. I basically only rock J. Crew pants because they're so cotton and comfy. They feel like wearing pajamas. Seriously. All right, everyone. Again, markets aren't going to be amazing. I want to make that clear. It's not your average market. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin goes sideways here for most of the day. However, now when you see the daily, you even have that shoulder. Look, the head. It has a head and shoulder there. That 22-hour is looming. So I'm more bearish than bullish because you can't get above previous highs. And when that happens, I'm bearish. And that's a head and shoulder pattern wanting to dump on you. I wouldn't be surprised if we came down to the bottom of the channel here, somewhere down to this area at 14,675, you know. So don't be surprised if we go lower to 14K. All right. One step at a time, everybody. One step at a time. We're going to watch this 1 hour time frame, right, and see if we can hold the zone. It's all about the fact that can this trend line hold? If the trend line holds, the 4 hour can play out for us. The good thing is that the dollar index didn't look that strong. Looked like we could get a dump of the dollar, which could save Bitcoin. So I'm going to watch this 4 hour time frame right now. This falling wedge does want to break to the upside, but we got to make sure the 1 hour doesn't dump us first. We got to make sure we hold this trend line, let the 1 hour reset. Can we make bacon on the beach? 15-minute is suggesting we're going to hold here because we're very oversold and we got some bullish divergence there. That's a good sign. So far, so good. So we're going to keep watching this area. I'm going to keep my group up abreast of what's happening. And that's Bitcoin in a nutshell. On the smaller time frames, what happens here will show us what happens into the rest of the week. So that's why we're going to watch these levels very, very closely. We got to get back above this point of control at 16,800 if we attempt to do anything bullish. And then 17,003 and then 18,300 is that big kind of area to climb for. So everyone, thank you so much for being here. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. Maybe jump into the chat. Let me make sure we're just hitting it all. Okay. Oh, my man asked about band protocol. Let's take a look at our baby band. And remember, we're looking at the total market cap of all of cryptocurrency too. That's something I didn't look at. Let me look at that before I run out of here. $758 billion in this bigger wedge. We're holding the bottom of the wedge. Can we bounce back to the upside? The 3-day looks like it could be rolling over. Not a huge, the daily looks like it could be rolling over. The 22-hour is pointing to the downside. However, can we get the move back? And it was a dump of the 22. We knew it didn't look good. And look, I called this too. Look, I had this area saying we're likely to go all the way lower down, 747 billion. Or do we double bottom here and hold this bottom trend line at 750 billion? We lose 750 billion. What I showed here was, I mean, it looks a nasty drop to the downside all the way to $300 billion. Imagine that. So I'm looking for this rounded bottom to round on out. Really would be nice if we don't lose this area and we don't lose 750. Our last chance would be $736 billion. Remember, 800 was the key, right? We couldn't lose 800. We did. We kept talking about that over and over again. And this bigger channel here, like this, we don't need this falling wedge, the rising wedge anymore. That falling wedge is still valid, but just showing you too, I mean, this could be a bigger kind of bear flag that's already breaking to the downside. I'm going to keep this falling wedge on the total market cap. But these are things you want to watch out for. The Blue Crew is feisty today. Shout out to everybody here on the Blue Crew. And let's jump on into that twit. How many people we getting jumping on in? All right, let's take a look here. 519 people saw this, 40 comments, 14 retweets. Man, we were getting 70 and 50 retweets just like a month ago. It was easy like that. I would just ask for something. You guys would do it immediately. We're not able to get there anymore. It's crazy. We get to 50. We got to get 50 retweets on there, though. If you comment, you got to retweet. So if you commented, retweet. Let's take a look at the comments, though. Let's take a look at what people are saying. ETH, it has more utility and product market fit. El No Braino, my man Lifer friend, likes ETH. I'm a fan of both. I think ADA is more upside in the next bull run. However, I think ETH is a better long-term gem. If I had to choose, I'd say Bitcoin because one day people will be scrambling to buy as much as they can. Wow. As right now, ETH, because it seems to be the smart contract for L1. Most of the largest projects will be building on the next bull run. Although long-term, I think if any layer 1 can grow alongside ETH, it's Cardano. ETH, while mass adoption and more people building on that chain at the moment compared to Cardano. ADA equals trade to make money to DCA into ETH. ETH equals DCA in with ADA gains. I love that. ADA, because it's being built the right way. ETH is trying to fix itself to become what ADA already is. Wow. That's amazing. Tough call, but I would opt for ADA. A strong community, coin, slow and steady stable development over time. No VC possible market manipulation. 3, to an all-time high 10x versus ETH, all-time high 4x. 4. ETH used to be a good until proof of stake, which controlled major by 5 major players over 5%. Interesting. Shout out to Sin City Crypto in the game. Love y'all. ADA, because ETH is just as good as people would simply stop using it if it goes too high. And if the gas fees were too lower, then the demand for ETH would decrease. So upside is limited either way. ADA, like the project, and also thanks for everything, Lifer. Shout out to Arcadius. Thank you for the love. ADA, taking the time to build. This guy might win there. That was a nice, he's buttering me up there, right? ADA, 100%. I like the prospects of being a tight banking and currency market such as Africa, which have struggled in this area. Enormous upside. My man. ADA. Justin H. Wolf of Avex. I love that. Is this a serious question? Funny. Didn't even answer it. I have an ADA bag. I would hold for a decade at least. ETH is just a trading token for me. We'll be dumping 100% of my bags in the next bull run. That's hilarious. Some people say the exact same different about, wow. This is making me, wow. It's like, wow. ADA, projects building on ADA have an advantage due to the cost of ADA versus ETH. Overall, ADA seems to be a lot more bullish. Cardano's price could surge by as much as 500%, while ADA is an increase of 15 to 20% is a more realistic target. While Ethereum might finally release its phase 0 upgrade, and we'll finally see how the proof of stake system stakes against that of Cardano. I would choose ETH because I have an addiction to staking Ethereum, but ADA is definitely undervalued and not a bad long-term hold. Who knows how long, but it's a good hold. ADA equals more risk, more reward. Plus, Chaz is a stand-up guy. Greatness wasn't created overnight. People need patience. ADA equals play the long game. Slow and steady wins the race. ADA equals decentralization. I choose ADA. More potential. ETH for the next 5 years. ADA. I see more upside in ADA in the long term, but the next bull run, ETH will dominate. ETH. Love ADA, but ETH. More time in the market. Sin City Crypto. Wow, we got a lot of replies here because Charles reminds me of a hobbit, and hobbits are nice people. This guy has to win. I mean, Burke Dong won. I mean, what is 47 followers? All right. DM him, Jamie. It's this guy. This guy, $100. BTC to my man, GF Burkdong. Got a strange name, but my buddy's named Burke, so that's cool. Talking to him last night, so that's kind of a coincidence. And I guess I got to follow you. You got to follow me, and then we could DM. And yeah, but cool, man. I mean, you said he looks like a hobbit, and hobbits are nice people. I mean, that's funny to me, and I like hobbits. Hobbit was one of the first books I ever read in school, so I have like this affinity for hobbits and the whole hobbit world. And I recently just saw the whole trilogy with my daughter too, which was pretty cool. I was a slow one to that. I didn't see it for years, so just saw the trilogy, the Three Rings and all that. Unbelievable, I have to tell you. Unbelievable. So shout out to you and yours. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that. Next time we'll keep it going even longer. Keep adding. I may pick somebody else. You never know. I might just feel great. Keep adding. 668 people viewed that tweet. We're adding that. That's a new view tweet analytic that we're adding, right? Because we have a lot of lurkers, but people see a lot of stuff. All right? So the fact that 668 people saw the tweet, but only 47, 20, and 39 decided to jump on in. So not everybody is an actionable person on Twitter. That's what Musk was saying, but a lot of people are watching Twitter. All right? Everybody, thank you so much for being here. Please comment, like, and subscribe. My last Bitcoin update still stands, and really nothing changes there. Thank you so much for being here. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, then, you're already doing all right thing over here, eh? Let's finish the lemon water. Let's get that jar emptied out. Let's stay focused. Let's stay motivated. Let's stay fresh, baby. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. I'll see you tomorrow on the next live stream back in the home studio. It feels absolutely amazing to be home. Thank you for kicking it with me in this time. A lot of people with their family. I get it. It is not the best time to stream. You got family. You got a lot of people that are off of work. You got kids home from school. Whoever kicked it with me today, I greatly appreciate it. May God bless you and yours. Thank you, and have a great day.